Welcome back to channel, Top Coin. In today's video, we're diving deep into the incredible world of the 1984 Roosevelt dime. We'll uncover its fascinating history, highlight the rare versions and errors that make it insanely collectible, explore its current market value, and give you expert tips on spotting one that might be worth a small fortune. Text overlay. 1984 dime, more than just pocket change. To understand why the 1984 dime is special, we need to go back a little in time. The dime, as we know it today, features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His face has been on the dime since 1946, following his death in 1945. The decision to honor him came shortly after he passed, not only because he was a respected leader but also because of his efforts in founding the March of Dimes, a campaign to combat polio. Now, fast forward to 1984. It was a year of innovation, music, politics, and technology. But quietly, the United States Mint was producing what seemed like ordinary coins, until years later, collectors would discover that some of these 1984 dimes were anything but ordinary. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced dimes at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each location left its unique mint mark on the coins, a tiny letter near Roosevelt's neck. No mint mark equals Philadelphia, D equals Denver's equals San Francisco. Philadelphia produced the highest number of dimes in 1984, which means most of the 1984 dimes without a mint mark are quite common. Denver also struck millions, and San Francisco's mint was responsible for the proof coins, which were made with extra care and higher detail, specifically for collectors. But what makes some of these coins worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Let's find out. Here's where things get really exciting. While millions of these dimes were minted, only a small number have survived with rare errors or variations that make them extremely valuable. These include minting mistakes, misprints, and even completely missing features. 1984 dime missing mint mark, no P or D. This is one of the most talked about error coins. A small batch of dimes intended to be struck at Philadelphia somehow left the mint without any mint mark at all. These no mint mark dimes, if in great condition, can sell for upwards of $150 to $500. Double die errors happen when the coin is struck twice with slightly different alignments. You'll notice a ghost-like doubling on Roosevelt's face, the motto "In God We Trust," or the word liberty. These are rare and can go for hundreds, sometimes even over $1,000 depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling. Another rare error is the off-center strike. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned in the press. The result is a coin with part of the design missing and the blank planchet exposed. Depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, these coins can be valued between $50 to several $100. This error happens when a coin blank is improperly cut, leaving a curved or jagged section missing. These 1984 dimes can be quite valuable depending on condition and rarity, selling from $75 to $300 or more. The value of your 1984 dime depends on 2 key things: condition and rarity. The coin grading scale ranges from poor P1 to mint state, MS70. A 1984 dime that looks flawless, with no wear, scratches, or discoloration, and has a rare error can fetch a small fortune. Text overlay. Mint state 65 plus dimes with errors equals $. A regular circulated 1984 dime without errors is worth, well, 10 cents. But a mint state 1984 D with a double die error has sold at auction for over $700. And that's not even the highest. An MS67 1984 no mint mark dime with an off-center strike was recently listed for over $1,500. Visuals of online marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, PCGS Price Guide. Right now, as of this year, the coin market is hot. Collectors are paying more than ever for rare coins, especially vintage errors. The value of 1984 dimes with confirmed mint errors has been rising steadily. Auctions and private sales have seen significant increases, particularly for coins graded by reputable services like NGC or PCGS. If you think you have a rare 1984 dime, get it appraised or graded. Even minor variations or wear-free coins can bring in surprising offers. So, how can you find these valuable 1984 dimes? Here are some tips. Go through old coin jars, especially ones you've had stored for years. Check rolls of dimes from banks. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, missing letters, or weird edges. Compare with online reference photos and guides. Join coin collecting groups and forums. You'll learn a lot. To most people, a dime is just 10 cents. But now you know better. The 1984 United States dime could be a hidden gem in your house, your wallet, or your old coin jar. Don't ignore it. Check it. Study it. You might be sitting on a valuable piece of history without even knowing it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting secrets, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a treasure hunting tip. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to go search your dimes right now. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of one of the most overlooked and underestimated coins in the United States, the 1991 dime coin. Yes, we're talking about the 10-cent piece that you probably pass over every day without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that this humble little coin, minted in 1990, could be worth way more than just 10 cents? Some collectors are willing to pay hundreds, even thousands of dollars for the right version of this coin. And no, I'm not joking. This is the real deal. Let's get into it. The history of the one dime coin. Before we zoom into the 1990 dime specifically, let's take a quick look at the history of the United States one dime coin. The dime has been part of U.S. coinage since 1796. That's right, this little coin has been around for over 200 years. The word dime comes from the Latin word decimus, meaning 10th part, because it's 1/10 of a dollar. The current design, which features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, was first introduced in 1946, following Roosevelt's death in 1945. He was honored on the dime because of his leadership during World War II and his strong support for the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, a disease he himself suffered from. Now, let's fast forward to 1990, a year that seemed pretty ordinary in the coin world, right? Well, not quite. Most people don't realize that certain minting errors and specific conditions in that year have made some versions of the 1990 Roosevelt dime extremely rare and incredibly valuable. The U.S. Mint produced dimes in 3 main locations in 1990: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia dimes have no mint mark, the Denver dimes have a small D, and the San Francisco dimes have an S. Here's where it gets really interesting. The San Francisco Mint only made proof coins that are struck using special dies for collectors. However, every now and then, something went wrong at the mint. And those mistakes are now worth a small fortune. Rare variants, mint errors that make MONEY one of the most valuable and sought-after versions of the 1990 dime is the 1990 No-S proof Roosevelt dime. This dime was meant to be struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark. But due to a minting error, the S was left off. So you end up with a proof coin, mirror-like, sharp edges, incredibly detailed, but with no mint mark at all. Only a tiny number of these coins were ever released, and that's what makes them so incredibly rare. In fact, the 1990 No-S proof dime is considered one of the most famous modern U.S. coin errors. Back in 2003, one of these coins sold at auction for over $10,000. Today, depending on condition and certification, these coins can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to over $3,000 or more. Let me say that again. A single dime, 10 cents, could be worth thousands of dollars. That's insane, right? How to identify a valuable 1990 dime? Okay, so how can you tell if you're holding a rare 1990 dime? Let's break it down. First, look at the mint mark. Flip the coin over and check the area just above the date on the front. That's called the obverse. If you see AD, it's from Denver. If there's no letter, it's from Philadelphia. And if you see an S, it's from San Francisco, and probably a proof coin. Now, if it's a mirror-like coin with no mint mark at all, and it looks way sharper and shinier than regular dimes, then you might just have a 1990 NOS proof. That's the jackpot. Also, keep an eye out for off-center strikes, double dies, or coins with strange edges. Any kind of noticeable minting error can significantly increase the value. So, what are 1990 dimes selling for today? Well, here's the breakdown. A regular 1990p or 1990D dime in circulated condition is worth face value just 10 cents. A 1990p or 1990D in uncirculated condition, especially if it's been graded MS65 or higher, might fetch between $2 and $10 depending on quality. A proof 1990S dime with the ES mark is generally worth around $2 to $5, but a 1990 NOS proof dime, that's where the money is. These coins, if graded PR69 or PR70 by major services like PCGS or NGC, can sell for $1,000 to $3,000 or more. A top-tier specimen could potentially break that $10,000 mark at auction. And here's the kicker. Many people who inherited proof sets from their grandparents or parents don't even know they have this coin. It's sitting in old coin folders or dusty boxes waiting to be discovered. So what should you do if you think you found a valuable dime? Handle it carefully. Use gloves to avoid fingerprints. Take clear photos. Use a coin magnifier or loupe to examine the details. Check the coin's weight. A standard dime should weigh 2.27 grams. Compare it to online references or send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS, NGC, or Annex for authentication and grading. Don't go to just any pawn shop or local buyer without getting a second opinion, especially if you have a proof with no mint mark. Here are a few pro tips if you're hoping to strike it rich with pocket change. Always check your change. Rare coins slip into circulation more often than people realize. Visit local banks and ask for coin rolls. You can search through them and return the rest. Look through old family coin collections. Join online coin forums or social media groups. Sometimes people trade or sell coins unknowingly. Keep a coin magnifier and LED light with you. You never know when you'll stumble across a valuable coin. So there you have it. The 1991 dime coin may look small, but its story is huge. With the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, that tiny 10-cent piece could be your ticket to a big payday. Whether you're a serious collector or just someone curious about the change in your pocket, this is proof that hidden treasures are all around us. If you found this video helpful or interesting, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment if you've found any rare coins lately, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of coins, currency, and collectibles. Ladies and gentlemen, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and curious minds from around the world, welcome to another exciting journey into the world of coins, history, and hidden wealth. Today, we're diving deep into the story of a tiny but powerful piece of metal, the 2002 United States 1 dime coin. Don't be fooled by its size. This little coin could be worth a fortune. Yes, you heard that right. What looks like an ordinary coin in your change jar or resting silently in your pocket might be worth far more than 10 cents. In some cases, it might even be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on a few critical factors you're about to discover. But what makes the 2002 dime so special? Why are collectors scrambling to find specific versions of this coin? And how can you tell if you're sitting on a jackpot? The 1 dime coin, known officially as the 10-cent piece, has been a staple in American currency since the late 18th century. But the Roosevelt dime, which we're talking about today, was introduced in 1946. It honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. His image was placed on the dime in tribute to his legacy and his fight against polio, symbolized by the coin's association with the March of Dimes. The United States Mint struck tens of millions of dimes at 2 major facilities that year, Philadelphia and Denver. You can identify them by a tiny mint mark. A little P for Philadelphia, and a little D for Denver, both located just above the date on the coin. There were no proof dimes made in San Francisco that year for general circulation, though collectors could still get special proof versions in sets. Although most 2002 dimes are only worth their face value, just 10 cents, some rare examples are prized by collectors for errors, minting anomalies, and perfect condition. And that's what separates an ordinary coin from a treasure. So how do you know if you've got a rare one? Let's go through the signs. Coin errors can make collectors' hearts race. Imagine a dime with a double die, where the lettering appears twice, slightly offset. Or a coin that was struck off-center, showing a crescent of blank metal along the edge. Or even better, a coin struck on the wrong planchet, maybe a dime that was accidentally stamped on a copper penny blank. These are real and highly desirable mistakes. In one case, a 2002p dime with a major off-center strike sold for over $350 at auction. A double die example, although extremely rare, could fetch $500 or more, especially if graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. Coin collectors love perfection. And for Roosevelt dimes, that means looking closely at the torch on the reverse side, the back of the coin. If the horizontal lines on the torch bands are sharp, clear, and unbroken, the coin may receive what's called a full bands or FB designation. This significantly boosts the coin's value, especially in mint condition. A 2002 dime in perfect condition with full bands, especially one graded MS67 or higher, can command $150 to $300, depending on market demand. Though not intended for circulation, proof dimes were struck in limited numbers in 2002 and sold in special collector sets. These coins feature a mirror-like background and frosted details, known as cameo contrast. If you come across one of these, it might not just be pretty, it might be worth $50 to $200, depending on its grade and rarity. Well, in circulated condition, what you'd normally see from day-to-day use, most are only worth face value. But when we step into the realm of uncirculated coins, error coins, or certified mint state specimens, the price starts to climb. As of 2025, a standard uncirculated 2002 dime might sell for $1 to $3, but rare errors and top-graded full-band dimes can easily surpass $100 to $500 depending on collector demand. Online marketplaces like eBay show error coins going for hundreds, while auction sites like Heritage Auctions have seen even higher sales when bidding wars break out. First, don't spend it. Grab a magnifying glass. Look at the mint mark. Inspect the edges. Check for errors. See if it looks off-center or has unusual textures or doubling on the numbers and letters. If you suspect it might be rare, your next step is to get it graded by a trusted third-party grading company. PCGS, NGC, or Annex are some of the top names in the business. They'll certify the coin, assign it a grade, and give you official documentation, which can greatly increase its resale value. The 2002 Roosevelt dime might be one of the most underestimated coins in your collection. Its tiny size hides a rich story, a presidential tribute, and potentially a small fortune. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who just loves the thrill of treasure hunting, take a closer look at your spare change. Your next big find might be just a dime away. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new, subscribe for more coin discoveries every week, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to uncover your hidden wealth. This has been your channel name, and remember, every coin has a story, and every story could be worth a fortune. If you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just someone who wants to know if that little dime in your wallet could make you a fortune, you've just clicked on the right video. Today, we're talking about the 2006 one-dime coin from the United States of America, and trust me, you don't want to overlook this small yet mighty piece of history. Some versions of this coin are worth far more than 10 cents, and maybe, just maybe, you've got one sitting in your change jar right now. Let's dive in and find out why the 2006 dime is much more than just pocket change. At first glance, the 2006 United States one-dime coin looks like any ordinary Roosevelt dime. It's small, silver-colored, lightweight, and familiar to anyone who's handled American currency. But there's a world of value and history packed into this tiny 10-cent piece. So first, let's understand the basics. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946. It was introduced to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, shortly after his death. Roosevelt led the country through the Great Depression and World War II and was also a strong supporter of the March of Dimes, a campaign to combat polio. That's why his profile was chosen to replace the Mercury dime, which had previously circulated from 1916 to 1945. Now fast forward to 2006. This was the 60th year of the Roosevelt dime's presence in American currency. And while 2006 might not seem like a milestone year at first glance, it's one of those dates collectors are keeping a close eye on. And for good reason. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, we have Roosevelt's left-facing portrait. The word liberty is stamped on the left, and the phrase "I in God we trust" sits just under Roosevelt's chin. The date, 2006, is right below that, and a small mint mark appears next to the date, indicating where the coin was made. Now here's where things get interesting. There were three main mints producing dimes in 2006: Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P; Denver Mint, marked with a D; San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. But more on that one in a moment. Each mint created a different number of dimes, and some of them are significantly rarer and more valuable than others. In 2006, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.2 billion dimes. That's billion with a B. The Denver Mint wasn't far behind, producing another 1.3 billion. That makes the regular circulation coins quite common. However, rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about what went wrong during production, and what unusual varieties were created by accident or intention. Let's talk about the San Francisco Mint, which produced proof dimes. These were not made for circulation. Instead, they were specially struck for collectors. The 2006 S-proof Roosevelt dimes were made with extraordinary care, and they feature a mirror-like finish that looks absolutely stunning. But here's where the real excitement begins. Not all coins are perfect. And believe it or not, imperfections are what can make a coin skyrocket in value. Some 2006 dimes have shown up with double dies, where parts of the coin's design appear doubled. These are usually visible in the lettering, especially in Liberty or I in God we trust. A dramatic double die can make your coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and demand. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. These errors are easy to spot and highly collectible. A dime that's 10% to 20% off-center can sell for $50 to $100, while more extreme examples can go for much more. But here's the holy grail: missing clad layer dimes. Normally, dimes are made from a copper core with a nickel outer layer. But sometimes, one of those layers is missing, resulting in a coppery red dime that stands out instantly. These are extremely rare and can fetch several $100s or more. And let's not forget proof errors. A 2006 S-proof dime with a striking error or a special cameo finish can be worth a small fortune if graded highly by experts. So, how do you know if your dime is worth big money? Grading is key. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. A perfect coin, one with no flaws even under magnification, is graded MS-70. Most coins in circulation range from MS-60 to MS-65 if they're in really good shape. Now get this. A 2060 Roosevelt dime in MS-68 condition has sold for over $1,000 at auction. That's $1,000 for a coin that originally cost 10 cents. Even the more common Philadelphia and Denver dimes can fetch $20 to $50 if they're in pristine, uncirculated condition. The 2006 S-proof dime, if it's graded PR70 deep cameo, especially if it's certified by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, can be worth $50 to $200, depending on the market. Error coins and unique varieties, as we mentioned earlier, can reach into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, why is there demand for the 2006 dime? Well, it's all about collector psychology. Coin collectors, known as numismatists, are always looking to complete date and mint mark sets. That means every year and every mint must be accounted for. So if someone's missing the 2006 D in MS-68, or a rare proof error, they're willing to pay top dollar to complete their collection. Plus, with YouTube videos like this one spreading the word, interest spikes, and so does value. The more people look for a coin, the more it's in demand. Here's what you need to do right now. Go to your change jar, wallet, or anywhere you keep spare coins. Pull out every dime you have. Look for the year 2006. Check the mint mark. Is it A, P, D, or S? Examine the coin under good light or a magnifying glass. Look for doubling in the lettering. Check for unusual color, surface errors, or off-center strikes. If it looks promising, consider getting it graded. You might be holding a piece worth hundreds, or even more, so there you have it. The 2006 one-dime coin might look like just another 10-cent piece, but in the world of coin collecting, it's a shining star with hidden potential. Have you found a 2006 dime with a rare error or high grade? Let us know in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic gold, and don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin content every week.